right now.
I'm wearing headphones, rocking it back, old school radio days.
How about that?
And somebody said it looks like I'm plugged into a Walkman. And I remember when I got my first Walkman, because my brothers and I had to share it. And I was the youngest, so how often do you think I got it? And you had your case of cassettes, and then people started to crap on your music selection. And I'm like, then bring yours then! How many times did we have that conversation at parties?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
And those were some great parties, too, by the way. Welcome to the RP Show, everybody. It is, what, Thursday?
I guess.
July 15th, Canada's daytime sports talk show's on the air, but we welcome our Canadian sports fan viewers around the world, particularly in America. RP here, DD there, the Moose. The Moose is loose. You did a nice job of working on your tan yesterday. You were out on the water for a lot of the day.
Yes.
So that's good.
It's great. You know, when I get my calls line, I try and do them in like 2-3 hours of meetings or calls, and then I can go on the paddleboard and put the earbuds in, the Jabra.
How about that?
And go.
How about that?
I'm very excited about our guest list today. I am every day, but there's a couple of guys that I really want to chat with today. And one is Mitch Love, who just left the Saskatoon Blades yesterday to take over the American Hockey League Stockton Heat in Stockton, California. And Mitch is a good friend of ours. We got a Blades mug here every day. Guess we got to get a Stockton Heat mug.
I guess.
How about that, Mitch? Can you get on that? And Damon Allen's going to be with us as well. The infamous DA, the first DA as far as I'm concerned, the Canadian Football Hall of Famer. Is he not still pro football's all-time passing yards leader? I think Damon is, unless he was over. At one time he was. And now he's joined the coaching staff of the Las Vegas Raiders, where his brother Marcus, by the way, was an absolute star with that franchise, and Damon Allen's going to coach the Vegas Raiders. So be on their staff anyway. So Damon's going to be joining us from the T-Dot. I'll tell you a story about Marcus Allen, by the way. He and I were at a Golden Knights game together. Marcus Allen and I. You know that story, right?
I do.
Marcus was sitting in the plush seats with the Raiders owner, Mark Davis. I was at the other end of the arena with my brother.
Yeah, you didn't go together.
No. Did I not make that clear? Marcus Allen and I were at a Golden Knights game together. Yeah. Just weren't sitting together. So, that was not
San
the
Antonio
game that I was at with Snoop Dogg. Clark just asked me. No, that was San Antonio. That was the Spurs and the Lakers. And that was funny because I came home and I was telling people I was at the NBA game with Snoop Dogg on the weekend. And they're like, you were? Yeah, he was up on the big screen and I was in the nosebleeds. But I was there. They loved it. Quick 6 show topics, please, Director Jordan, as we get rolling here. The warm-up, by the way, is brought to you by eCall Electric. Come check out our new Regina Data and Lighting Center, eCall Electric. Let's get to work. Topic number 1, I got to say this. What do I always say? These topics are of importance to me because it's my show. So number 1, it's NBA Finals last night. It was a very thrilling game last night, the Bucks and the Suns. And you look at the score, 109-103, and you would think that's pretty close, right?
Yeah.
That's closer than... The game was closer than that score would indicate. Did you watch the end of the game, or were you still out on the water?
Yeah.
It was tied with under a minute to go, and then the Bucks broke out with 6 points late to win this thing going away, and now we got a series. It's a best of 3, so they're going back to Phoenix Game 5. Chris Middleton is the talk of America right now. He dropped 40 for the Bucks. Who was Chris Middleton until last night?
I know.
Because it's always been Giannis Antetokounmpo, and while you people all call him Giannis, the Greeks call him Yanni because he's one of them. So the Greek Freak, by the way, had 26 points, 14 rebounds. Devin Booker, 42 for Phoenix, and we got a series. If you're not watching this, what are you watching? What are you watching?
I know.
Animal Kingdom? And I don't mean the Netflix show. What else would you be watching?
I know. I mean, yeah. The Open's on during the day now.
Right, British Open. Thanks.
Which is, I know it's coming up, but that's during the day. And then basketball at night. It's the NBA Finals.
I'm enjoying it, but hey, maybe it's just me.
But we don't watch all year.
No.
We're not diehard basketball guys, but we love watching the game. And then when you get to a championship, it's the same. I'll watch every championship.
I know, but what I'm thinking of is when people say, I only watch hockey come playoff time, or only watch football come playoff time. I'm like, what kind of heathen are you? But then I realized I only watch curling come playoff time. I only watch NBA come playoff time. So I get it. I'm trying to. I thought the British Open teed off.
They should be underway.
Oh yeah,
Mackenzie
the
Hughes
leader. Who's Stewart? Stewart's 8 under. Harrington and Taylor are tied 6 under. So
okay,
they teed off around midnight our time out here. Anyways, that was point 6. I'm getting out of order here. The British Open is underway, round 1 today. 2 NFL notes. Couple things I got to say about that. Aaron Rodgers, again, as everybody knows, I watch ESPN every single morning for a variety of reasons, but they talk NFL every single day, 365. Hey, there's Dean Tix from Green Bay. One of our viewers. Happy Thursday. How about those Bucks? Middleton came out big, and the Bucks have momentum on their side. Hashtag fear the deer. He's in Green Bay. So with the take of Aaron Rodgers, so he missed minicamp this spring. Main training camps in 2 weeks. They say he's not going to be here for that, or in Packers camp. So later on, when I get to my original 16 Ultra update, Clark, that's what I'm going to talk about, is the leverage in the situation with Aaron Rodgers. So just hang on. I don't want to drop my thoughts on that just yet. But just consider this. You're under the thumb of your boss, right? You don't feel appreciated or valued. Come on. Let's be honest. You don't. But you got to go into work every day because it's your job, and you need the paycheck. Guess what? Aaron Rodgers don't need the paycheck. He could retire right now. He's made $249 million on the field alone, let alone endorsements. He doesn't need to go to Green Bay. What do you know? Relationships, business, it's always who's got the leverage. And
right.
Most players don't. Aaron Rodgers has the majority of the leverage, I feel, in Green Bay. To be very interested to watch how that plays out.
He does. He has all the leverage. Now, if Jordan Love goes out in preseason and lights the world on fire, and Aaron Rodgers holds out, and Jordan which he won't, but Jordan Love plays, it's the only way. And that's such a long shot that he's going to go out and be that good that quick. Aaron Rodgers has the leverage for sure. This is a Super Bowl window that's closing in Green Bay. And they need Rodgers.
Yeah. And by the way, the Deshaun Watson thing, there's a lot of people that won't be happy to hear what Adam Schefter had to say about the quarterback of the Houston Texans facing multiple sexual misconduct charges against females in that Houston area. And what Schefter is saying is he's not going to be able to play in Houston, but if this thing drags off into the season, legally he's going to be allowed to play, but it won't be for the Texans, and he believes he's going to be traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles, who probably feel like they just got through the Michael Vick stuff, are going to have to deal now with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, Deshaun Watson, and what do they do with Jalen Hurts, who kind of pushed Carson Wentz out in Philadelphia. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to deal with.
Apparently the Eagles fans are okay with it because Todd Pinkney, one of our P1s, is watching. He says, Watson coming to Philly. Who cares what he does at the massage parlor? The guy can throw. He's got a great arm. Who cares? I should have known.
You should have.
I should have known. Point 3. So CFL stuff. Interesting. I see a comment has come in here from Faye Lowther. Does the name sound familiar? Faye Lowther from Truro, Nova Scotia. She writes in, she's watching. She says, I wish I was at Brett's game to see his first kickoff. We're all so proud of him. We love you, Rod, as you know. I love you too, Faye. The entire Lowther clan, the kicker for the Saskatchewan Roughriders from Truro, Nova Scotia. Just one of the best guys I've ever met in this entire business. And what she's getting at is our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is, will you be attending your CFL team's home opener? And by the way, if you don't like the question, blame me because it was my question. And right now it's 50-50. It's 50-50 whether you're going to your team's home opener or not. And for instance, Joe Lozito, he's watching in New York. He goes, well, I'm in New York, so no, I won't be there. Here's Faye Lowther saying, well, and she's in Truro, Nova Scotia, I won't be there. So maybe it's not a fair question. I guess the point is, if you had the means, would you be going? That was kind of my point. If you have the ability to go, would you go?
Yeah, and I think they're outliers. You know, they're going to be vocal, but they're outliers. I think for the most part, we're in a, CFL community, and I thought, it should be more like 75%, 80%. saying, yeah, they're going to be in. So a little surprising that it's 50-50, but it is early in the poll. Very early.
Chris Bird in Toronto says, Argonauts home opener, August 21st. Be there or be square. I think most that are watching this will say that they will be at their team's home opener. By the way, Jen is watching at the Four Seasons Sports Palace, and she just writes one word. Sherman. I know what you mean. Richard Sherman, the San Francisco 49ers DB, the Seahawks great. You saw what happened with him. He showed up at his in-laws the other day drunk, drove there, threatening to kill himself, and everybody thinks he's the worst person in the world. I know that I'm in the 0.002% of people that will look at it this way. Let me say this again. Showed up at his in-laws, drunk, threatening to kill himself, and didn't hurt anybody. Can I say this is a hurting guy? I'd like to talk to Richard Sherman. Everybody's lambasting this guy, right? What the hell's wrong with this guy? He's lost his mind. People that are in their right minds don't drive to their in-laws drunk and threaten to kill themselves. So let's maybe pray for Richard Sherman and hope the best for Richard Sherman, who does not have any history of this that we know of publicly to this point. So how about that, Jen? That's my take, and that's what you were asking for. Do you have any thoughts on that before I move on?
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, you have to see that for what it is and get the guy help. He's a free agent. So it's not like he's ready for training camp or needs to be at a training camp. He's a free agent. He's got to get this together first, and then he can get back to football. But yeah, I see it.
James in Borden, Manitoba says, that's a bad look for the NFL if they let a sexual predator play. I know this has to be proven in court, but when in multiple women, maybe they should sit him till everything is worked out. Well, that's a hell of a dangerous precedent, too. There is a thing in America, innocent till proven guilty. That's a thing. Somebody was saying in Canada, it's guilty until proven innocent. It's completely different. It's the law. Deshaun Watson's going to play. Like I said, this isn't going to go over well with people, but it's the law. It's dragged on. Who knows why, by the way? We're sitting up here thousands of miles away from it. There's got to be a reason why they haven't dealt with this, because usually money and sports gets things moved through the courts pretty fast.
That's right.
And the last thing on the CFL stuff is that Winnipeg's been cleared to 100% capacity for all their games. So it's moving. Point 4, National Hockey League fake news. And while you guys are all hot and bothered around here about what's going on with free agency and obviously the expansion draft, and I get it, this dawned on me while watching That's Hockey last night with Gino Reda and Craig Button. It's a lot of fake news. And so what I'm seeing is that Steven Stamkos might be asked to remove his no-trade clause in his contract. Shea Weber might be left unprotected by the Montreal Canadiens because he's injured and he might not be able to start next season. So why would we protect him? And Mark Giordano, according to my guy Craig Button, might not be protected by the Calgary Flames. Why would you? We'll go with these 7 forwards and these 3 defensemen because they're good young players. Do you know what these 3 all have in common? Do you know these players? Steven Stamkos, Shea Weber, and Mark Giordano? They're all the captains of their hockey clubs. If you believe that any one of those guys isn't going to be playing for their current team next year, you are an idiot. So I'm sitting there watching this last night going, why am I watching this? I love all these guys. I really do. They're just trying to stir this stuff up. Hey, and I'll be the first guy to eat my shorts if I'm wrong come next fall if these guys are playing somewhere else. It's fake news. The NHL's full of it right now, and I just realized why. Wake me up when the expansion draft's over and when free agency's over, and let's drop the puck. Sorry.
I know, and you hate that stuff. But that's what the armchair GMs love to do.
No, I don't.
Speculate, right? They love to speculate on where guys might go. But yeah, you know, how often, I mean, and the viewers will be quick to point out other captains that have been traded.
Alex Pietrangelo signed with the Golden Knights. He's the captain of the Blues. Bingo. I get it.
So it happens. But you typically don't have success long term without retaining your leaders. And those are all the leaders of their respective groups. Mm-hmm. So that'll be really tough.
I was just going to say what the Blues do this year, but I guess they did make the playoffs. But right. They were swept by the Avs right in round 1.
Yeah.
So, but hey, I'll eat my shorts, as Bart Simpson says, But I don't think those guys are going anywhere. And I'm still going to watch it.
I know.
Who's the idiot? Me. Because I love this stuff, but I just got
How about that?
sucked in. Point 5, the Blue Jays, we understand, won't know until this weekend. Or sorry, they won't know by this weekend about a return. What am I missing, Moose? I'm watching Milwaukee last night. What do they call that area? Deer Park? Deer Park, I think. Look like there's 100,000 people there.
I know.
And we can't put 30,000 in a baseball stadium in Canada. That's outdoor. What the hell?
I know.
What am I missing?
I don't know. Ontario's not ready. Maybe Ontario's not ready. I mean, the restrictions are off in Alberta. Restrictions are off in Saskatchewan. 2 provinces in Western Canada. I don't believe they're lifted in Ontario, right? So
No.
That's it, right? To get special permission. They were allowed 3,500 in Montreal, but that's Quebec. It's a different province, and they were allowed 10,000 outside. But yeah, it's they're going to have to wait. They thought maybe for the start of the second half of the season, but
2 last comments here from Janet, the Four Seasons. She says, no word on Johnny Hockey. What about him? John Tavares, that's who I believe is the real Johnny Hockey. She's talking about Johnny Gaudreau. He's under contract to the Calgary Flames for at least 1 more year. He's going to be protected. He's fine. And Don Muir, watching in Winnipeg, says, good morning, guys. I usually need some emotional connection to the teams involved for me to watch. When the Lakers were done, so was I for the most part. Other than being Canadian, I had very little interest in the Habs versus Bolts. Love the show. Keep up the great work. Well, that's the difference between me and you, Don. I'll find a reason to watch. And for me, the Phoenix Suns have never won a championship. I spent a lot of time in Arizona. It's the number 1 franchise there. It was the first franchise there since 1968. It's good enough for me to cheer for them.
oh yeah.
Anyways, this has been the warm-up for Ecol Electric. Mitch Love in next from the Stockton Heat of the American Hockey League. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen on demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.